So we are here with drone pilot Bryan Roschetzky. Now, I've been trying to get Bryan on the channel for about a year, and he's been trying to get on my channel for about a year, but we're both busy people. You see how it is. So the thing is, I've been wondering, and I had a viewer ask, we watch all this drone footage, but we don't know what any of it is or how it works. So crack out the drone here, and why don't you give me a quick tour of the features.
How does it work? So a quadcopter is like a helicopter, but instead of having a rudder in the back to keep it straight and oriented, these two rudders actually spin in a clockwise position, and these two rudders spin counterclockwise, and that's how it flies. And all they do is flip the orientation of the blades, so that even though these are moving counterclockwise, they're still going down. And then that opposite spin is how it stays straight, and you're able to move it and stuff through that.
And that prevents it from spinning in the air.
Yeah, exactly. Because if they all spun the same direction, then it would want to spin like that. Right. So it's very simple, genius ideas. Battery in the back. Oh, there we go. Battery goes there.
That is most of it.
Yep. Oh yeah, the weight of the entire drone is the battery.
Is easily half.
Oh yeah, right?
Easily.
It's almost like the same weight.
Wow.
Which kind of goes to show the same thing for electric cars. It's all about the battery, and it's going to be even more when you go to planes, electric planes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now you can get as many batteries as you want. You could go up. How long on a windless day, how long does that keep
I believe they say this goes for 40 minutes now.
Wow.
I believe it's around 40 minutes.
So count on 25 to be safe.
Yeah, like I mostly don't use it. A lot of times, when you have multiple batteries, fly it down to 40%, let it cool, and by the time you're flying the next one, that one's going to be charging and just runs forever.
Mavic is made by DJI.
DJI.
Yeah, that is the same as this dog
the camera
here. I can't find the mirror.
DJI is a solid brand. I would say that they definitely have cornered the market for drones. There are other companies, but I feel most people know and trust use DJI.
It's the GoPro of the sky.
Yep.
Now so you've got all these sensors.
Yep.
And they keep you from crashing into the ground.
I believe there's like GPS,
right?
laser.
Oh, sure.
Laser straight to the ground for the exact ground height, and then full 360 cameras that use pretty
for the FSD.
Yeah, for the old FSD autopilot.
Yeah.
Like we were saying at the end, we were talking about in the pregame show there. It notices things, but one thing it doesn't notice, the biggest thing we fear is power lines. Oh. And one time when I had the Phantom 4, it got stuck in the power lines, where there was two power lines above it and power line below it, and the drone got stuck in between the power lines, but the sensors wouldn't allow it to fly
back out.
Well, but it didn't crash either. It knew it couldn't go above, and it was beeping away, and I figured it out, got it out of the way, and I've never once crashed a drone, ever.
Wow.
Never once crashed a drone.
That's great.
Yeah.
I understand some people buy quieter blades. Is that really a thing?
Yeah, totally. And people buy smaller drones for certain scenarios that might need quieter flying. Yeah.
Where the permission is less explicit to fly over.
Well, yeah, or filming for things like weddings or things that you might kind of want
a distraction.
You don't want a distraction, but it would be nice to have some of that kind of footage or things like that.
Giga Texas is close to the airport. Is there special permission required, and how do you get it?
Yeah. You first need a drone pilot's license. Go to FFA website. It's not too hard, I believe.
FFA?
FAA.
Okay.
I do say those in intermix those.
Future Farmers of America.
Future Farmers of America. We do a lot of that here in Texas too. Pretty easy. I think you can just do it online now. Pretty easy. Just any drone bigger than a small, tiny little one, like 0.5 grams, needs to be registered. And especially, at Giga Texas, there is Class C airspace. So you need to either have the authorization in that zone, and then you're limited to, I believe, 200 feet.
And you got
altitude.
an app that allows you to request permission.
Yep,
And unless something special is going on, you're going to get permission.
pretty much, yeah.
They just need to basically have you registered in that space, because
Yeah.
helicopters are not very high above 200 feet when they come out of Bergstrom. Is that true?
Yeah, we saw there was a video recently of the helicopters were fixing the power lines
That was
right there.
insane.
And so, yeah, and I think there's also like a tour, a helicopter touring service that's real nearby, and sometimes they'll fly in low to try to get, better views of the area.
Sure, sure. And the Colorado River's right there.
Yeah, I've flown in Corpus Christi, where Corpus has a lot of Coast Guard. So if you're ever flying a drone near the coast, you have to worry with Coast Guard, because Coast Guard will fly at any altitude. And normally on the maps, they will have like projected flight paths of certain, known flight paths of different aircraft. But yeah, you got to watch out with helicopters. Even same thing with helipads for hospitals, things like that. They can really come in anywhere.
And you don't have to collide with them. The wash, the air wash,
Sure,
the rudder wash is going to
sure.
create a crazy, tremendous amount of turbulence.
Sure. I do tell people a lot. It is a big space. The air is very big. The likelihood of this happening is insanely low. But then when you think of what the consequences of what would happen, it's always insane. It's
On a
always like
single
extreme.
slot would be-
Yeah.
A lot of people look at drone work, like any kind of photography, and mistake it for easy, because you make it look easy. Good drone pilots make it look easy. What are some tips and tricks for somebody who is either just starting out or is not very good?
Sure. Me personally, I feel like the one thing that I always am trying to improve on is, slowly panning the video feed. When you go up and down on video, it doesn't normally distort it or make it hard for the viewer to see each frame. But when you pan side to side, that's always where you want the camera to be the most steady. There are settings that you can go into with the drone, and you can lower the speed of the Y and X axis, or the yaw, I believe it's called. And by slowing that down, you may make your video smoother. Color grading is a thing. I mean, most anything you can learn on YouTube and figure out pretty easily. But I think the one thing that's not relayed is just experience. And that, even though someone can go out and film a drone video or film something very easily, the process of how we got there is what may take years, right? And how we got to that point. There's a lot of things that you really have to remember, and just make sure that you kind of go through your checklist and have everything checked off.
The old joke about fixing the power plant, where they pay a consultant $1 million and he comes in and presses a button. So they ask for an itemized bill, and he says, pressing button, $100, knowing which button to press.
Yeah, totally. Exactly when to press it.
Exactly when. And what is a normal, like, what would be a good camera you would recommend for someone just starting out? Like, $200-300 for? What's a good starting point for a beginner who's not sure if they're gonna do it often enough to justify it?
I get this question pretty often, and I wouldn't want to recommend buying something too cheap. I like DJI, and the reason why I feel that I have not crashed a drone is because I purchased a DJI that has all the sensors and the capabilities of flying without crashing. So I would say get a DJI, get an Air 2S, get a Mini, but try to get a solid DJI drone. Right. Even if it's right out of your budget. If you crashed a drone one time and had to buy another one, that's going to be more expensive than getting just one that's slightly there. So I would really recommend a DJI.
I had a buddy who wanted a GoPro and decided, 200's too much. I'm going to go with this Chinese one that's $120.
Sure, I've thought about it.
And it's garbage, and he never uses it.
Yep.
And I did the same thing with Wi-Fi extenders. I knew I should have got Google Home with the white little things that sit around in different rooms.
Sure.
And I was like, $300 is too much money. So instead I spent 150 and then another 100 and then another 150. And I was like, and I still had no real connection. So because this is one of those things where I honestly believe going too cheap is more expensive.
Yeah, and maybe if you don't, if the product fits for you, that's fine. But flyaways and other things, they just don't happen now with DJI. So it's, you have a much easier way of just, if you're a beginner, of just getting out and flying and getting good footage. And there are other companies, Atal and other ones. Honestly, I've never tried and attempted, and I feel DJI has the reputation to back it up.
And if you want to spend more money, the sky is quite literally the limit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was looking into getting a Reaper. No, I'm just kidding.
A Reaper?
The CIA drone.
Really? Yeah.
No. So I want to thank Bryan Roschetzky for filling in the gaps, because we've been watching this drone footage for years now. And a lot of the mechanicals behind it, the engineering behind it, I never understood. Apparently there's a crisis underway. So that's interesting. So RoschetzkyPhotography.com.
We got YouTube at Bryan Roschetzky, and you can find me Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Roschetzky Photography.
You know where you can find them? Is right here. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll do all that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And if you need photography in Austin, look through some of his work, because it's just great. And the drone stuff, he does some like tours of Austin where he flies around and says, this is my city, check it out. And those are just cool. Those are beautiful. And those give you, in my opinion, a good idea of what he does and how he does it. So what did I forget to ask him? What should I ask him next time? Leave all your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe, like, do all the usual things. I don't know, throw me $1 on Patreon. Maybe it'll help me get back out to places like this to do more of these if you find value in it. And if you don't, give it the thumbs down, because YouTube can't tell the difference and it drives engagement either way. My God, it's loud in here. Yeah. So stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots next time around.
Peace.